In our last investigation, we showed you the 5 brands that are still built to last. We talked about buying products that can be repaired instead of replaced. The comment section exploded, but buried in those thousands of comments was a question we were not expecting. Dozens of farmers wrote the same thing. They said, "It does not matter if I can fix it, because the manufacturer will not let me." One grower in Illinois described watching his harvest rot, while a software lock on his own combine made it impossible for him to complete a repair he could have finished in 5 minutes. Today we are going inside the biggest repair scam in America, a system so broken that farmers are buying 40-year-old tractors at auction for more than they cost brand new, just to avoid it. This is the story of how John Deere went from the most trusted name in farming to one of the most resented companies in rural America. To understand how we got here, you need to know one number: $4.2 billion. That is how much American farmers lose every single year because of repair restrictions on their own equipment. $3 billion in downtime. $1.2 billion in inflated service bills. The average producer loses over $3,000 a year, not because their equipment is bad, but because they are forbidden from fixing it. A new John Deere combine harvester costs between $450,000 and $950,000. A large row crop tractor runs $250,000 to over $600,000. These are not luxury purchases. These are the tools that feed a nation of 330 million people. And when they break down during a harvest window that lasts a matter of days, every hour of delay can mean a season of lost income. Farming runs on tight margins. A single week of downtime during planting or harvest does not just cost money. It can push a family operation into bankruptcy. Repair costs for corn and soybean growers have nearly doubled over the past 2 decades, with a 41% spike since 2020 alone. And the equipment manufacturers know exactly how captive their customers are. But here is what the brochure does not tell you. When you buy a modern John Deere, you do not actually own the software inside it, and without that software, the machine is a $400,000 paperweight. John Deere was founded in 1837 by a Vermont blacksmith who built a self-scouring steel plow in Grand Detour, Illinois. He solved a problem that had plagued every farmer moving west. Rich Midwestern soil clogged cast iron plows. Deere fixed it. He stamped his name on it and he said, "I will never put my name on a product that does not have in it the best that is in me." During the Great Depression, when banks were repossessing farms across the country, John Deere refused to take back equipment from struggling families. They extended financing. They delayed payments. They lost revenue but earned something more valuable. They earned the permanent loyalty of American farming communities. That loyalty lasted for generations. Your grandfather trusted Deere. Your father trusted Deere. But starting in the late 1990s, something changed. As emissions regulations expanded and precision agriculture took hold, the company began embedding computers called electronic control units into every machine. Software became central to how a tractor runs. And with that software came something growers had never encountered before: a digital lock on the equipment they paid for. In October 2015, the company argued to the United States Copyright Office that farmers do not actually own their tractors. They have, in Deere's words, an implied license for the life of the vehicle to operate the software. The backlash was enormous, but instead of retreating, Deere doubled down. By 2016, the company released a license agreement forbidding customers from modifying, reverse engineering, or even accessing the diagnostic codes. Violations of the Digital Millennium Copyright Act carry penalties of up to 5 years in prison and a $500,000 fine. The company that refused to repossess tractors from desperate families during the Depression was now telling those same farming communities that the machines in their barns were not really theirs. Here is how the lock works in practice. Every major component in a modern Deere tractor is digitally married to the machine through a process called VIN-Locking. When a farmer installs a perfectly good replacement part, the software refuses to recognize it. The machine throws error codes and either shuts down completely or limits the engine to reduce power. The software drivers needed to pair that new part to the machine are called payload files, and they can only be installed through a program called Service Advisor. The full version of that program is available only to authorized Deere dealers. Farmers get a stripped-down version that a public interest research group proved in 2023 deliberately hides basic diagnostic information and locks out the repair authorization function. Of 706 diagnostic error codes in Deere service manuals, 627 of them, that is 89%, instruct the operator to contact their dealer. Now think about what that means during harvest. Jake Lieb farms in central Illinois. During the 2023 harvest, both his tractor and his combine went down at the same time. He had the parts. He had the mechanical skill. But without the proprietary software, he could not even identify which sensor had failed. When a Deere technician finally arrived, the entire repair took 30 minutes. Plug in a laptop, find the bad sensor, swap it out. Lieb said, "If I knew what sensor was bad in that combine, I could have had it fixed in 5 minutes. But if you do not have the software, it is impossible to know what is wrong." He is not alone. A Missouri grower had his machine stuck in the dealer shop for 28 days. The president of the Oklahoma Farmers Union was told his dealer could not get to his tractor for 9 months, and the dealers charge $150 an hour. Independent mechanics have exposed that dealerships routinely bill $12,000 for repairs that should cost $2,000. The repair side of the business is 3 to 6 times more profitable for Deere than selling the equipment itself. And the company proved just how much control it holds over these machines in 2022, when Russian soldiers stole 27 pieces of farm equipment worth $5 million from a Ukrainian dealership and transported them over 700 miles to Chechnya. When the soldiers tried to start the machines, they were dead. Deere had remotely bricked them from the other side of the world. The same kill switch technology that stopped Russian looters exists in every connected tractor on American farms. But here is where the story takes a turn that nobody at corporate headquarters expected. When you lock farmers out of their own equipment, they do not sit around and wait. They find another way. In 2017, a journalist at Vice gained access to invite-only Eastern European forums where frustrated American growers were buying cracked Deere diagnostic software from Ukraine. For $99, you could buy a key generator for part validation. For $499, a firmware decryptor. Compare that to $3,100 a year for the official tool, which does not even have full functionality. A Nebraska farmer told the reporter, "What you have got is technicians running around here with cracked Ukrainian software that they bought off the black market." A Colorado legislator said his rural constituents told him they were buying illegal third-party software just to fix their own machines. Then at the DefCon hacking conference in Las Vegas in August 2022, an Australian hacker known as Sick Codes demonstrated a full jailbreak of a Deere tractor controller. He bought a $7,000 unit off eBay, spent months soldering directly onto circuit boards to bypass dealer authentication, and gained root access to the operating system. To prove his point, he ran the video game Doom on the tractor's touchscreen display. His message was 2 words: liberate the tractors. But the most common workaround is simpler and more telling. Farmers are buying old machines. A 1979 Deere 4640 sold for over $61,000 at a Minnesota auction. A 1992 model that originally cost $60,000 went for $73,000, more than its original price 3 decades later. 77% of growers surveyed have purchased older equipment specifically to avoid software restrictions. They are paying premium prices for machines built before the digital locks existed, because those machines can still be fixed. In January 2023, the American Farm Bureau Federation attempted a compromise. They signed a memorandum of understanding with John Deere. In exchange for promises of diagnostic tool access, the Farm Bureau agreed to oppose right-to-repair legislation. The deal was not legally enforceable. Deere could walk away with 15 days' notice, and that is effectively what happened. 6 months later, researchers proved the diagnostic tool provided under the agreement was deliberately crippled. It hid troubleshooting information and locked out the authorization function needed to actually complete a repair. Walter Schweitzer, president of the Montana Farmers Union, delivered the most honest assessment. He said we could have a dozen pinky swears from a dozen tractor manufacturers, but we still would not have comprehensive repair materials. I am running out of pinkies, and I still cannot fix my damn tractor. That broken promise became the turning point. In January 2025, the Federal Trade Commission, joined by attorneys general from Illinois and Minnesota, filed an antitrust lawsuit against John Deere. 3 more states joined soon after. The FTC alleged that Deere maintains 100% market share in repairs requiring its full diagnostic tool. The company called the lawsuit meritless. A federal judge disagreed. In June 2025, Judge Ian Johnston denied Deere's motion to dismiss and wrote that Deere forces farmers to visit those shops instead of using closer, cheaper options. Then in August 2025, the EPA demolished Deere's most important defense. For years, the company had claimed emissions regulations required them to restrict repair access. The EPA administrator issued formal guidance stating that nothing in the Clean Air Act limits a manufacturer's ability to provide service tools to consumers. He added, for far too long, manufacturers have wrongly used the Clean Air Act to monopolize repair markets, hurting our farmers. One by one, every argument Deere had built its fortress on was torn down. Safety? The FTC found scant evidence restrictions are necessary. Cybersecurity? Independent researchers found Deere's own systems riddled with vulnerabilities. Intellectual property? A federal judge found the argument unpersuasive. Emissions? The EPA said it was never true. And this fight is bigger than tractors. The same digital copyright law that lets Deere lock a combine is the same law that lets Apple prevent you from replacing your own iPhone screen, and the same law that locked hospitals out of their own ventilators during a pandemic. Nearly half of biomedical technicians surveyed said they were denied access to critical repair information during the worst health crisis in a century. Some bought hacking tools from Poland to fix ventilators. Indiana Representative Rob Green captured the core of this fight when he said, "A $1 million combine is not a software as a service product. It is the farmer's property, hard stop. The issue at the heart of right to repair is ownership. When a manufacturer prevents a farmer from accessing any component of their property, that is not ownership, that is serfdom." John Deere posted $55.6 billion in revenue and $10.2 billion in net income in fiscal year 2023, their best year ever. The company controls 53% of the large tractor market and 60% of the combine market. Together with one other manufacturer, they control nearly 90% of both. Deere's CEO has projected that software subscriptions will reach 10% of revenue by 2030. Software carries 85% profit margins compared to 25% for equipment. The financial incentive to maintain the lock is enormous, but 95% of farmers support right to repair legislation. 40-plus bills have been introduced across more than 20 states. A bipartisan federal bill called the Farm Act is now in Congress, and the FTC lawsuit is proceeding to discovery. John Deere built its name on a promise. A blacksmith in 1837 put his reputation into every plow he made. He said he would never sell something that did not have the best of himself in it. Nearly 2 centuries later, the company that carries his name is selling farmers equipment they cannot fix, charging them $150 an hour for the privilege of waiting, and arguing in federal court that the people who paid $500,000 for a tractor do not actually own it. The walls of the repair monopoly are cracking. The only question left is whether John Deere will tear them down voluntarily, or whether the courts, the Congress, and 3 million American farmers will do it for them. If you found this story important, hit subscribe. We have a lot more to expose.